This week's astrology may put some pressure on you, but remember, my love, pressure is what makes diamonds shine. Hi, my name is Haley Comet, and welcome to Just Your Magic Monday, particularly your Magic Monday astrological forecast for the week of January 22nd to January 28th, 2024, but every other week of astrology, for that matter, I've got you covered here in my cosmic corner of the internet with a cosmic beverage in hand, letting you know what's ahead for your week ahead, how you will feel these astrological influences threaded into your everyday life, and furthermore, how you can co-create with the cosmos, understanding the bigger collective cycles that are at play and observing how they echo and reverberate into your individual experience. And for this week's astrology, it's almost like the cosmos has this gigantic temperature dial, and it's going over and it's turning up the heat to its maximum setting for the collective, especially as we get nearer and nearer to the Leo full moon on Thursday, January 25th. Now, this full moon lands in the fiery sign of Leo, which governs the heart space. And this full moon is casting a spotlight on what our heart is in and what our heart is no longer in. And while that data is all well and good, it's important to honor that whenever we talk about full moons, we talk about a balance of opposites, an axis that is being linked. And so certainly there is a spotlight to these qualities of Leo, who it is that we are as creatives, as leaders, what our heart is telling us, but it's asking us to temper all of that passion with the logical airs of the Aquarius sun, especially when we consider that this full moon is involved in a fixed T-square involving Jupiter and Pluto, which can rampen up the drama of this full moon. Again, it's so powerful to feel strongly about something, to act from your heart space, but with this lunation opposing Pluto, there can be a temptation to do whatever it takes at all costs in order to stand up for yourself or prove a point or secure some sort of validation. This can be a full moon in which our pride easily snowballs out of control. And this potentially explosive full moon in conjunction with Mercury aligning with Mars this week, the both squaring off with Chiron, there can be an energy around wanting to go above and beyond in order to prove ourselves, to finally feel to be enough. So I just want to say, if you observe people this week trying to brag or gloat or even do like power struggles around look at me, understand that it's coming from a very wounded place. And if you're stepping into that role where you're feeling this influence around I've got to prove myself, they've got to see what I'm about, just know that it's important to stay in line, that it's important to stay aligned with your own integrity, because whatever victory you win by proving your point or getting that adoration or getting that validation will feel hollow and empty if you're trying to use that to supplement a lack of something that you feel within. It's just important not to allow your pride to get the better of you with this Leo full moon, as well as just being gentle if you observe that within the collective, people being a little bit grandiose, trying to prove something to you, understanding, particularly with this week's astrology, it can be coming from a more hollow energy, looking for applause externally, hoping that it'll fill some sort of void from within. And all of the applause, all of the validation, all of the good for you or that's amazing or all of the wins will feel hollow unless it is matched by your heart being happy in that chosen goal, in that chosen endeavor, what have you. None of the applause, none of the validation will be worth it if it is not making your heart happy. And so this Leo full moon asks you, what makes your heart happy? And how can you build and construct a life that is in accordance with that? And my love, we are fresh off the heels of Pluto re-entering Aquarius, and Uranus stations direct this week. So it's a season of the weirdo. We're moving into a season for the eccentric, season for people who are comfortable following their heart, regardless of how that may look to other people. People who are bold enough and courageous enough to design a life that is true to you, your quirks, your eccentricities, and who is willing to disrupt what is normal in order to get there. And so with Uranus stationing direct this week, you can be feeling quite restless. You can be feeling a craving to shake shake things up. And the Leo full moon could be making it very apparent what it is that you are passionate about and what it is that you are not. But I will say this week's astrology does give us a sweet victory lap, okay? After the universe turns down the temperature dial and we begin to simmer down from that Leo full moon, we have some beautiful energies rounding out the week from Mercury trine Uranus, gifting us with inventive ideas, Venus trine Jupiter, which is abundance and beauty. I'm so excited to share with you all about this week's astrology, where you will feel it within your life thematically as well as day by day. But before we get into all of that, take a step inside my cosmic cafe, my loves. Let me know what you are sipping on to start the week. I have a vanilla bean latte that I made. Here's foam cam. Can you even see the foam? Oh my goodness, it looked so much more impressive before I sat down. But you know me, I chatted too much in the intro. I was taking sips and now you don't get to see how beautiful the foam was, but you're gonna have to take my word for it. Okay, the foam was foaming. But let me know below, what are you sipping on to start the week? Did your foam aspirations work out a little bit better than mine? I would love to know. Since we're all gathered here within the Cosmic Cafe, I would love to share with you that this is the week that Venus, the planet of beauty, enters Capricorn. Capricorn is a sign that is governed by Saturn, the planet of time. So with the Venus in Capricorn, it is a ask to ensure that our Venus energy within our life, our beauty, our femininity, our adornment, our presentation of ourselves through our style and our makeup and our hair is something that is timeless, something that evolves and expands and ripens like a fine wine as we age, because age is truly such a sacred rite of passage. It is a luxury that not everybody gets to experience, and I think a lot of times within this modern society it is demonized, and we do so much to want to seem younger, but it's all about being able to allow your beauty rituals to meet you during your own evolution, to meet you at your unique needs, at your unique desires for self-expression as you continue to unfold and develop as a human being. And that very concept is why I feel so personally aligned with the mission of the sponsor of this week's Magic Monday, Better Not Younger. Better Not Younger is a hair care brand whose products are specifically designed to meet the needs of aging hair. That's been such a surprise for me personally. Some of you may know I'm currently wrapping up my Saturn return, and as I shared earlier, Saturn is the planet of time and age, and Saturn return is a sacred rite of passage where you really begin to feel your own age and the passage of time around you, and the needs of my own adornment and style began to shift. My skin has gotten drier. I've observed that my hair has gotten thinner. I've had to take on new approaches with my makeup. Just as we continue to age and evolve, our beauty rituals do as well. And so particularly when it comes to my hair, because I have always had thin hair, but I'm telling you, right around my Saturn return, it became just like a battle to feel like I had full hair. Oh my goodness. And I was still doing the same hair care rituals of when I was 20. Like, I'm evolving as a human being. Why would I not expect my beauty rituals to evolve with me? Which is why I'm super excited that I have partnered with Better Not Younger. I've been using their shampoo and conditioner within the Wake Up Call bundle for about 2 months now. I didn't want to talk about it until I really was familiar with the product. I don't think you can just use it once and have an accurate read of how it works with your hair. So look at my last couple of Magic Mondays. I've definitely observed a difference. So the Wake Up Call bundle particularly helps with volumizing. That's the biggest thing that I've observed within the age that I've been lucky enough to experience at this point in my life, is just the thinness within my hair. And rather than like fighting against it around, let's give you full hair like a 20-year-old, Better Not Younger takes an approach around, let's take the beauty of who it is that you are, let's take the age that you are at now, and let's just allow yourself to show up within the best version of yourself at this particular stage of your life. So within the Wake Up Call bundle, it comes with a shampoo, conditioner, and a hairspray that I use when I'm doing something style-wise. The shampoo and conditioner I use every single time I've showered since I've received the products 2 months ago, and the hairspray I've used whenever I'm styling my hair some way. What I love about the hairspray is my hair's feeling thick, okay? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident, okay? But also it's not crunchy. Like, I put a lot of hairspray hairspray in and it's holding my curls really well, but it doesn't feel crunchy and brittle. I feel sassy, which is important. Of course, it's a Leo full moon. Leo governs the hair. You gotta feel sassy. You gotta be able to shake your hair if you're feeling so inclined, and Better Not Younger supports me with that. So I personally have struggled with my hair thinning a lot. I know other people struggle, like as they age, with their hair being more brittle or more dry. And a huge reason of this is because our scalp is no longer essentially like generating the oils necessary to maintain the same like suppleness or thickness that our hair used to create. And what I love about Better Not Younger is that it actually helps to reverse some of these damages before they fully set in, meeting your hair and where it is that it is now, as well as allowing you to continue to age gracefully and your hair continue to age gracefully. You can take the hair quiz over on the website to get some recommendations around how you can best allow your hair to continue to ripen like a fine wine as you do. And so I can tell you all that I've been incredibly pleased with the results that I have seen within my hair since I've started utilizing the Wake Up Call bundle about 2 months ago. And so if you are looking to support and up-level your hair care routine with this Venus in Capricorn transit, I deeply recommend give them a try. Wake Up Call bundle is a great place to start. I'm telling you, Saturn return was a little bit of a wake-up call for me. I did not know my hair was going to change so much as I enter my 30s. It's actually quite fascinating to see. And I just love that the ethos of this brand doesn't see aging as an enemy. It's like, let's just continue to support your hair and its needs, which are going to be different when you are in your 30s versus your 20s, your 40s versus your 30s, your 50s versus your 40s. It's going to meet you at different needs. So Wake Up Call is a fabulous place to start, particularly if you are dealing with volume issues like I am. You can get 10% off when you use the link that I have dropped within the description as well as within the pinned comment. And I have a promo code Haley10, and that'll get you 10% off the volumized, timeless hair of your dreams. Thank you so much, Better Not Younger, for working with me and bringing in the magic to Magic Monday. So thank you so much for listening to all of that. Sponsors are how I'm able to continue to create Magic Monday every single week. So I deeply appreciate your patience for listening, as well as checking out the brand if it does feel like something that is in alignment. But let's go ahead and take it into Vibe Check of the Week. So if you are unfamiliar, Vibe Check of the Week is essentially when we liken all of those energies that I was telling you about, from Venus sextile Saturn, Venus trine Jupiter, Mars square Chiron, Uranus stationing direct. We essentially liken all of that energy and compare it to a real life scenario, so that even if you're not well versed with what it means to have a full moon in Leo involved in a T-square, you can liken it to a real life scenario to begin to understand how this energy may sharpen into focus within your experience. And I'm not literally saying that the vibe check is going to happen to you. Every week when I see comments, I'm kind of shook that sometimes it does happen. Sometimes random things come through. I download these, so I don't know where it comes from. And sometimes it is a message for somebody, like they are really feeling this energy. But for most of us, it's mostly symbolic to tune into the emotions or the scenarios of what could come up within your universe. So do we have any athletes? Do we have any athletes in the Cosmic Corner today? Because this Magic Monday, we're getting a little athletic. We're getting a little competitive. We're getting a little sporty, okay? And so in this week's sporty edition of Vibe Check of the Week, we will say that you are the quarterback for your high school's football team. And your high school's football team is very much the underdogs. Season after season, you guys come in last place within your brackets. You all are in a district that is very underserved. It's a community that's very underserved and underfunded, and your athletics programs, as well as just the quality of your school, really tells that tale. I mean, you guys travel and go to all of these really nice high schools you guys play against, and your programs, your school just is not up to the same standard, does not have the same facilities. So typically you go into every season just kind of ready to lose, right? But we'll say that this is a season in which you and your team are really fired up. You have this new coach who is just so inspiring, who makes you feel like it could be possible for you guys to win. And as the season goes on, as more and more games are played, the wins begin to trickle in. You guys are working together as a team. You guys are rising up in the ranks. It's unheard of. It is not expected. And somehow there you are, quarterback during the championship game against one of the teams that is historically the one who always wins, and it's from a high school that just so happens to be incredibly wealthy. They have so much access to trainers and the finest coaches that money can buy, and nutritionalists for the football teams, like all of the things. They come from incredibly different backgrounds than you and your team does. And so you can't help but be intimidated. And the pressure is on, right? Think bright lights, gleaming AstroTurf, yelling fans, and you gotta get in the zone. And as you guys are playing, the competition's on. This is championship. You wanna win this for your high school, but furthermore, you want to win this to prove, money can't buy everything, can't buy championships. You don't have the heart and the grit that this team does. We've worked so hard this season. How cool that would be to rise up from being underdogs to championships. Are you kidding? So there's a lot on the line, okay, on this particular game. And the competitiveness begins to take over. It just so happens that as you guys are switching from offense to defense, one of the players on the opposing team says something really snarky to you, and you let the passion take over. You can't help yourself. You go over and you threaten that person. You are so angry, not just for you, but also you're protecting your team. You're like, what did you just say about us? And it just so happens that you get basically a foul called on you where you have to be benched for the rest of the game. And you are just so embarrassed. You're the quarterback and the captain, and you let your pride get the better of you in that moment. And now you're sitting on the bench, and you might have blown the championship for the entire team. And so it all comes down to this. There's 20 seconds on the clock, and you are sitting on the bench, your stomach in knots. If you guys lose, you're gonna feel like this is your fault because you let your pride get the better of you in that heated moment. And it just so happened, y'all run a play and touchdown, score, win, championship. And so everybody runs onto the field and celebrates, and somebody dumps Gatorade on the coach, and the whole shebang. Like, that energy right there is the energy at the end of this week. With Mercury trine Uranus, there can be a certain disruption. No one was expecting the underdog to win. And with Venus trining Jupiter, wow, victory tastes sweet. And the reward of what you guys have worked towards taste sweet. But you did have that moment where your pride got the better of you, which is the energy of the Leo full moon. With the square to Jupiter, we can be behaving in very excessive, dramatic ways. And with Mercury Mars squaring off with Chiron, it's because that comment that the individual on the opposing team said to you, it triggered something deeper within you, because you already went into that game that day looking at their glossy high school, looking at all of the different resources that they have available simply based on where it is that they are located, like their district as well as their socioeconomic status. And you can't help but look at their nutritionalists and their trainers and have that sore spot around understanding that that is not a reality for you and your team. There are people on your team that you know are working part-time jobs to support their parents. There are people on your team who had to quit because they did not have the resources in order to purchase uniforms. And so because that's an insecurity within you, you can't help but to feel a little triggered stepping into that high school. And when somebody said a snarky comment about where you guys come from, you couldn't help it. You feel so proud of your team that it pinged at a sore spot. And that could be the energy of Mercury squaring Chiron, Mars squaring Chiron. But that energy that I kind of like peppered in around a new coach who just really fires you up, that's the energy of Mercury and Mars this week. Whether it's a pep talk someone else is giving you or a pep talk that you need to look in the mirror and give yourself, it's important this week. There might be triggers or things that are ouches or raw within your experience. You cannot let that get the best of you, right? So much of winning and victory is here, right? It's a mental game. It's both our physical efforts that we put in, but also keeping our head in the right place, eye on the prize, and not letting the wounds and insecurities that either we are telling ourselves or other people are poking at within us to take hold, to lead the charge. And so, since it is not even football season, I would not imagine this will be a real situation that will arise within our universe. But keep this vibe check in mind. We'll begin to paint the picture on this week's astrology, what will come to the surface for you, even if you're not quarterback of the high school underdog football team. But before we get into our day by day, I just want to let you know briefly, any time that I mention is PST. I'm located on the West Coast of the United States. So please adjust to your time zone before putting it in your planner or making a mental note, as these energies very well may land a different day, a different time based on where you are located within this big, beautiful world. I also want to let you know I have timestamps below where you are more than welcome to jump to a particular day, jump back to a particular day to revisit. There's also a playback speed on YouTube where you can speed me up, slow me down, align my rate of speaking to your rate of processing. It is a continual practice within my mind to attempt to go slow, but as I highlighted, a lot of the information that I relay is channeled. So a lot of times it's my mouth trying to keep up with what's coming through, because sometimes I lose it if I'm moving too slow. So my deepest apologies. It is something that I am working towards, but in the interim, until I master that and perfect that, please feel free to lean upon the playback speed option. I also want to let you know, it sounds like somebody is chainsawing outside. That's what it sounds like. Of course, it stopped now. You might have heard it a little bit when I was talking about the vibe check, and I'm sure it will continue. I don't know what they're chainsawing. I don't know if I should be concerned, like if I should go out and make sure they're not like chainsawing a person. I don't know what someone would need to chainsaw at a time like this. I'm not totally certain, but I just want to let you know that that is in the background. I would wait it out and wait for them to finish chainsawing, but I'm not kidding. They've been doing it for 2 hours, and I do have some plans that I need to get to. So my deepest apologies if that is affecting your listening experience. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take it into the astrology of Monday, January 22nd. There's the chainsawing. You hear it? Is it chainsawing? I don't know. I went outside and I tried to find where it's coming from. In my mind, it's chainsawing. What is someone possibly chainsawing at a time like this? At a time like this, during this Leo full moon? So on Monday, January 22nd, I firstly want to let you know that we start the day with the moon transiting Gemini, and the Gemini moon is kicking up a separating square between Venus and Neptune. So there's kind of like this mutable T-square within the cosmos in the first part of the day, which essentially means you can expect not to necessarily be the most productive, okay? Gemini moon has a lot of thoughts, but with the square to Neptune, your thoughts can be sort of in outer space. And with the opposition to Venus, you can most certainly just be feeling not in the mood for the tasks, the responsibilities. You're wanting to dream, you're wanting to envision, you're wanting to process that wild dream that you had the night before. Some of you could be dreaming about lovers from your past, as we did have Venus square Neptune last week. And again, Gemini moon's kind of kicking up that energy around, meeting up with lovers within the dream realm or something of that nature, like I've shared about dreams before. And whenever we have Neptune aspects, take a moment to contemplate, what could this possibly be revealing to me at this leg of my journey? But certainly with Gemini moon squaring Neptune, definitely important to write things down. Do not count on yourself like, oh, I'll remember. Write down your to-dos, write down the dates, write down the meetings, just because Mercury is now finally heading into some new territory within the cosmos. Check out last week's Magic Monday to get the tea on that. Just because that's the case doesn't mean that we're not going to have, snafus and things that we forget about. Moon Neptune, it's like Moon might be physically here at the meeting saying, but mentally we are elsewhere. Okay, so the beginning part of the day, it can be helpful if you work in something inspiring or something where it allows you to kind of take that big picture vision of it all. But also with mutable T-square, you could just be feeling this energy around wanting to be anywhere other than at your work desk or at the store that you work at or taking meetings or whatever it is that you do on Monday mornings. With Gemini moon square Neptune, you just want to be anywhere but there. And keep in mind, Gemini moon opposing Venus and Sagittarius, these are two very curious signs. They're very adventurous signs. So definitely giving yourself some sort of spice of variety variety. Like if you work from home, maybe work from a coffee shop. If you have to go into an office, maybe walk a different way during your lunch break. Find something to infuse a little bit of variety. Talk to someone different at work than you typically do. Listen to a different sort of music. Add some variety into your day-to-day, because there can be an energy of wanting to scream if you're doing the same thing every single day, right? And then the moon will be void at around 12:40 p.m. When the moon is void, important tasks we must avoid. Okay, so just be mindful between the hours of 12:40 to 1:51 p.m. would not be the time to send the most important communication of your life. And I do want to highlight my last note until we move into the second part of the day. So I do want to say with Gemini moon squaring Neptune, you could be getting lost on social media, okay? Getting lost on Reddit, getting lost in a group chat text, like not realizing how much time is going by, and then being like, oh my gosh, I have so much that I have to do. Again, Gemini moons are such a brilliant time to communicate and connect, but with the square to Neptune, these hours are melted by. And then at 1:51 p.m., the moon will enter its rulership of Cancer with the first portion of the day. Like we might be a little sleepy, okay, with the square to Neptune, we might be a little lazy, but Gemini moon's got a lot of thoughts, okay? And so we're going from the first portion of the day of the Gemini moon from being in the head to being in the feels. With the second portion of the day, with the moon transiting its rulership of Cancer, feeling every emotion more intensely. And that will continue as we get closer and closer to that full moon. I just want you to think as you move into this week and every single night as you look up and find that beautiful moon above you, as you see that moon is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, know that your emotions are waxing right along with it. And it's important to feel. Like I'm not saying you need to control or restrain how it is that you feel. It's important to feel it, certainly, but it's important how it is that you essentially take in that data and whether you let your heart rule out over your head. Like that's why within the vibe check, you did let your heart and your passion and your emotions get the better of you. And now you didn't get to be quarterback as you guys won the game. Again, the end of the week is that good news energy. You guys won, but you weren't a part of it because there was that moment of your emotions getting the better of you. Because it's hard when someone pokes at something sensitive within us or when we are triggered. It's hard to not want to react in that very instantaneous way. And it's not saying that you need to control your emotions. It's saying certainly feel them, but sometimes you have to compartmentalize around, I'm going to cry about this after the game. I'm going to show this person what my high school is made of after we have that championship trophy. It's important to keep your eye on the prize because sometimes those big emotions and when we let them take center stage, sometimes that can divert the sweetness of essentially the prize at the end or getting what it is that we truly want. So certainly feel your emotions, honor the data that comes through this week. There's nothing wrong with that, but just be intentional that you're balancing the heart, the Leo full moon with the head, the Aquarius sun, and knowing that the best sort of revenge, if someone has you messed up this week, okay, the best sort of revenge is success. Okay, the best sort of revenge isn't, clapping back and lashing out. Even if you so want to give this person a piece of your mind, even if you so want to clap back at this rude, privileged high school student who is coming at you and your team who has worked so hard, even if it would feel so gratifying in that moment to be violent or what have you, what's going to be even more of a punch to the ego is when you guys win. Sometimes you just got to stay focused on winning the race or doing the best that you can do with the integrity that you have and allowing yourself to, yes, feel those emotions, but allow it to be fuel towards your chosen endeavor. Do not leak out your energy via the people who are trying you this week, okay? I want to make that clear. Again, there's going to be a lot of different Leo full moon stories, but I just want to say with the moon in Cancer on Monday is Moon Day, you may be feeling your emotions more intensely. This could be good emotions. This could be sad emotions. This could be nostalgia, disappointment, and resentment all baked in, right? Take some time to process what it is that you're feeling, the pings that it is stirring up from within, and really just honoring, this would be the energy because Cancer is a very nostalgic energy. This would be the moment when you're about to go out on the field and you kind of run through a montage of all of the early mornings that you guys practiced and all of the sacrifices that you all made, everything that has led you to this particular moment. Like all of the history that has gone into you all stepping onto this field. And again, it can ramp up the emotions because there's so much. It's like, gosh, we put so much into this. We sacrifice so much. And it's feeling those emotions without letting it get the better of you, without allowing that to turn into nervousness around, what if we drop the ball now? It's like, no, you got to do it not just for the version of you that wants to win that, but also for that version of you who got up at 5 a.m., the sacrifices that they put in. You also owe it to that person to win. So it's revisiting elements of your past, but not letting your past run you. We have Mercury in new territory. Uranus is the final planet to station direct. We have Pluto re-entered Aquarius. Like there is so much forward momentum in the cosmos. So it's not saying reminisce on the past and get stuck there. Your future needs you. Reminisce on the past to continue having fuel for your future, essentially is the aim. And I do want to say for the creatives, this is a very creative week of astrology, okay? And the Cancer moon could be a really optimal time to revisit how much your art has transpired, or if you're looking for inspiration, revisit old journals, like revisit elements of your past. Again, creating things for your future, but calling upon prior versions of yourself and prior parts of your own experiences that you can pull into your future. And in fact, sharpen the focus around what it is that you're fighting for, what it is that you want to create for your future. And you know, there's this energy around revisiting the past and allowing it to solidify what it is that you're building. That's so strong in the cosmos on Monday because the Cancer moon will trine Saturn in Pisces. This happens a little after midnight on Tuesday, actually. Because it happens so early on Tuesday, we'll likely feel this energy build on Monday as well. And again, Saturn is focus, right? So it's feeling the emotions, but it's not allowing it to knock us off course. It's like, you know, I'm feeling some feelings around this. I'm revisiting my past, but it's getting me even more locked into what it is that I'm creating and what it is that I am focused upon. So the beginning portion of Monday, the moon activated Venus and Neptune, which, like I said, we talked about this last week. It can be this energy around projecting our lovers to be something that they're not, you know, romanticizing lovers from the past, you know, only tuning into the best parts of them and conveniently avoiding all of the negative parts, projecting onto the people that we love. Things of that nature can be themes that you're feeling here. But I also want to say that oftentimes when we have a crush, I've talked about this before, we can really use that crush to motivate ourselves. Like you can use that crush of that person to use as fuel. Like again, it won't be about them, your own development, but sometimes having somebody that you want to impress, right? If you have like a little crush in the bleachers, right, at the high school football game, you might be a little bit more locked in around wanting to win. Again, it's not about your crush in the bleachers, but that person does call upon a deeper reserve of fierceness and tenacity because you want to impress that person. And that's typically how crushes work. We get inspired to show up as our most beautiful or our most talented or our most athletic or whatever the barometers of being your best self. Oftentimes when you do have someone that you're wanting to impress, you are inspired to dig up more from you, right? It's like thinking about your crush in the high school bleachers. You do a couple more, you know, chest presses than you would typically because you're like, I cannot let this individual see me lose. They've got to see me with the big championship trophy. And you can use crushes as fuel towards your own vision, being your own best self. Again, you don't have to give that trophy to your crush just because they were in turn the catalyst. Like people that we're attracted to and drawn to and the sacred mirrors that we experience within this lifetime, it can be a way for you to access more reserves out of you, for you to win being your best self, whatever that looks like for you. And the reason I'm highlighting this on Monday is because we do have Venus at the anaretic degree. It's sitting at the 29th degree of Sagittarius. And like I said, the beginning portion of the day was quite distracted, and then the latter portion of the day was quite focused. And it just reminds me of those individuals where sometimes crushes don't do that for us. Sometimes it just makes our head into a frenzy and we don't do anything. We're like paralyzed. They're distracting us. We can't even work on our business because they're just like in the back of our head, or they just make us feel so confused and distracted where it's hard to get those extra chest press in, or we're missing the ball during the game because we're just so flustered because they're there. And then the second portion is kind of that crush where it like just motivates you to continue to essentially align and focus on your chosen endeavor. And so I just think with those energies coming up, if you have a crush who's more so like the first example where it just kind of like knocks you off course, like we talked about last week, there's a danger with Venus separating from Neptune around shiny object syndrome or sirens who sort of throw us off course or distract us from our chosen aim. So get your head in the game, okay? I want to say with Moon trine Saturn, it's great to have crushes and people that we want to impress in order to be our best self, but continue to allow that to be fuel towards being your best self. Whenever you're observing that you have a crush who's kind of making you feel distracted, take a moment, ground down, and continue to essentially sharpen into focus on how you can be your best self, okay? With, Moon trining Saturn, Venus enters Capricorn today. A lot of times love is operating on divine timing, okay? There is no rush for who is meant for you. And in the interim, just focus on being your best self, okay? Do not allow these people to throw you off course or distract you or muddy your thinking where you're not doing what it is that you need to do, okay? Show up, do your best, call back your focus, and it's game time. So on Tuesday, January 23rd, I firstly want to share that shortly after midnight, the Moon trine Saturn. I talked about that on Monday, which again is just like focus, precision. Yes, maybe revisiting our past, but using it as fuel to build our future, right? Rather than letting, our ex throw us off course and make us all distracted and muddied in our thinking, using that past experience as catalyst around when they see me again, I'm going to be, a championship winner, or I'm going to look so good, or I'm gonna have my novel published, or whatever it is. Again, it's not about flexing on these people necessarily, but these people can allow us to draw more out of ourselves. So stay focused. The goal is not at the end of the day, the person. If they're meant to be, they'll come into your experience. The focus is being your best self and getting the most out of yourself. And you can find a really delicious harmony between the two, but it's just important to stay focused. Eye on the prize, especially with Venus entering Capricorn shortly after midnight as well, which is this shift from Venus transiting Sagittarius. There was a desire for love to make us feel free and expansive and meaningful. And now with Venus in Capricorn, we want a love that is solid, grounded, and that inspires us to continue to ascend. With Venus in Capricorn, there is a focus around keeping our standards high, because keeping your standards high does yourself such a favor, as well as anyone who attempts to court you or date you. Keeping your standards high does them a favor as well. Because if you acquiesce, if you're like, this is my expectation, but someone kind of like does half of that and you're just like, okay, whatever, I want to be with you, so it's fine. You are denying that person the opportunity to pull that out of themselves, to arise to those expectations. Your standards are not too high. You may just be asking the wrong person. And the right person will do whatever is necessary in order to arise to the standards that you have set. And they'll be a better person as a result, because they'll be like, dang, I didn't know I had that in me. Like, creation and just passion and love is such a major driving force of this universe, okay? It is fuel. And there are buildings that are built, beautiful buildings on this planet that were built of people trying to impress other individuals. There are beautiful songs that are composed. There are games that are won. There are all sorts of milestones and achievements that are created using that fuel around wanting to impress someone or wanting to essentially meet someone's standards, right? So you're not doing anyone any favors by lowering your standards or accepting the bare minimum. You're not doing yourself yourself any favors, certainly, and you're also not doing that person any favors as well. So I just want to say, if anyone is accepting the bare minimum with Venus in Capricorn, it's really asking yourself to essentially raise your standards. The right person will come into your orbit at the right time, and with Venus in Capricorn, it's really that energy around us holding that vibration. You can meet me here. I'm not meeting you down there, okay? And I'm good on my own until somebody will meet me here. I'm going to focus on my own visions until the right person is here to help me build. Because that's the focus with Venus in Capricorn. If you're not in the courting or the dating process, okay, with Venus in Capricorn, if you're in a committed relationship, Venus in Capricorn is the nudge to review what the two of you want to create, the future that you want to build. With Venus in Capricorn, it's asking, like, how are we supporting one another towards being our own best selves, right? How are we continuing moving those milestones to like level up one another? How are we keeping the standards high around what it is that we expect from ourselves and our own teammate sort of relationship? That can be a focus there. Venus in Capricorn can be this invitation to review the connections in our life, almost like a business in a sense, around what are we moving towards? What are our goals? What are we investing within this connection? What are we investing within this connection's future? Because certainly the moon's transiting Cancer at this moment. We have a Leo full moon building. These are very passionate, emotional energies, but we have a lot of the cosmos currently answering to Saturn, which is very logical and pragmatic. And sometimes it is important, especially when it comes to matters of the heart, to take that step out around my heart feels sad and bad for what it is that you're moving through and, you know, the demons that you're battling, but to a logical level, my gosh, I've just been giving and giving and giving, and you have just been taking and taking and taking. From a business level, if we were to see that, we would say, hey, there need to be some calibrations. With the energy of Venus and Capricorn, it is asking, is this a sort of connection that will continue to allow you to essentially grow and ascend and level up and ripen like a fine bottle of wine, right? I'm not saying every single person you need to get together and talk about your 5 goals, but just like revisiting around with Venus and Capricorn, does this person expand me? Did they inspire me in some element? Did they support me as I grow? Do they cheerlead me? Do they keep me accountable when I share certain goals with them? Or do they just want to like party with me and see me make stupid decisions so that they can like laugh at my dumb stories? Like really just revisiting. I mean, your heart can tell you so much, and the Leo full moon makes that apparent, but every so often you got to step out and review the return on investment that you are getting from this particular connection and ensure that this is a connection that can not only meet you as you are, but continue to develop as you do, because that's another focus of Venus in Capricorn, is investing in connections that are timeless, where our visions for the future are aligned, where we can continue to meet those individuals at the various stages of our life. It's such a beautiful space to be in when you have those people within your life, whether it's friends or relationships, just people where as time goes by, you guys are able to meet each other as these new iterations of yourselves that you develop into, and it's like no time has gone by. With Venus in Capricorn, it's a celebration of those sort of connections. It's an invitation to revisit the goals that you have for your relationship, as well as a nudge from the cosmos to really review. Like if you take emotions out of it, if you just view it from a very logical standpoint around what are you truly getting out of this relationship? How is this connection benefiting you? How is this connection inspiring you to continue to grow and evolve? And where may you need to recalibrate your energy moving forward? Other themes that we can expect with Venus in Capricorn is there can be a shift, as I highlighted earlier, around really wanting our beauty and our beauty rituals to be something that is timeless, that continues to evolve and mature as we do. Like with Venus in Capricorn, this may be an invitation to revisit your style, revisit your clothes, revisit your shoes. With Venus in Capricorn, there may be a focus to really focus on pieces that will stand the test of time, things that are quality and timeless, and also represent who it is that you are now, but also who it is that you are evolving to be. If you find certain clothes with within your closet, or certain shoes or certain makeup where it's like, this just isn't me any longer. This could be an invitation to donate, to release, what have you, to really focus on your look and your way of putting yourself together to be something that's timeless and something that meets your standards, right? With Venus in Capricorn, we are raising the standards on all things Venus, love, beauty, money, right? And so this may be a nudge. Just review your wardrobe. I am not saying you have to go out and buy all new things. In fact, Venus in Capricorn is more so the energy around focusing on staples, timeless pieces, as well as things that kind of represent who it is that you are evolving into. As I mentioned earlier, I'm in my Saturn return. The final pass exacted January 2nd, 2024. I have a lot to say about that. Let me know if you want a dedicated video on that topic, because my goodness, what a journey I went on with that Saturn return. But it's interesting because next month is my 30th birthday. And so there's been certain questions as I step into this next decade and I really start to feel the beginnings of, aging and getting older and things of that nature. There's been certain just questions that I've been wondering about around, do I need to take my belly button ring out? Do I need to stop wearing crop tops? And it's not so much something that you need to do. It's not coming from this lens around guilt, around you're lame if you're 30 and you still have a belly button ring. It's not coming from the energy of guilt or needing to play by society's rules. That's very much what we're moving away from with Aquarius Sun and Pluto re-entering Aquarius. It's rather saying, do my clothes and the way I adorn myself and the way I express myself, does it meet my standards for who I am evolving into and for who I want to be? When I put on these clothes, when I wear this belly button ring, do I feel like the best version of myself? Do I feel aligned with my outer vessel? That's what I think true beauty is when our outer vessel mirrors and is an accurate echo of our internal soul, and only you will be able to carve that authentic style for yourself. So it's not about, tossing out the belly button ring when you turn 30. I'm still jury's out. Listen, I still feel in alignment with my belly button ring. Okay, I'll get rid of the crop tops. Okay, I'll make some shifts. Maybe the cheetah print miniskirt, I don't think it's gonna be the 30s version of me. I'll make some shifts, okay? But I'm not letting go of my belly button ring. Okay, that's still in alignment with me. It's not about playing by society's rules of beauty. It's just asking yourself, does this make me feel like the most aligned, embodied version of myself? And how can I raise the standard of what it is that I expect from myself and my wardrobe and my style of adornment, things of that nature? It can very well be this energy around less is more. With Venus in Sagittarius, you could have found you were more drawn to things that were a little bit more bold, right? The cheetah print mini skirt, the sequins, or things of that nature. And you might find just naturally with Venus entering Capricorn, you're gravitating more so towards more timeless looks, things that are a bit more sleek or things of that nature. As well as with your finances, with Venus in Capricorn, there can be a focus this week, especially with Venus sextile Saturn, around how you are investing. Again, and that can be to a financial level, but also how you are investing within yourself, how you are investing within what it is that you value within this experience. And again, kind of up-leveling your standards in the way that makes sense for you. Whether that is raising your prices at your business, whether that is making some artful shifts to your lifestyle, not lifestyle inflation, but more so around how do I want to allocate my budget? Maybe I want to start investing more within my, home furniture. Maybe I want to start investing a little bit more into carving out my personal style or figuring out how to do makeup, or maybe I want to invest a little bit more in my professional development. There just can be a call to really review what we are investing in. So when it comes to Tuesday's lunar astrology, like I said, the moon will trine Saturn after midnight. So if you happen to be awake, should be nice and focused. And then the Cancer moon will sextile Jupiter in Taurus, which is really cute because they're making this little dialogue, and they're also in territory that the other really likes to be in. Moon exalts in Taurus. It's in its favorite location when it's in Taurus, and Jupiter exalts in Cancer. It's in its favorite location when it's in Cancer. So it's cute that Moon and Jupiter are communicating in signs where the other planet really, really likes to be. So it's just a cute little sextile. If you happen to be up and at 'em at 2:13 a.m. around doing things with heart and feeling and compassion, and really through this lens of generosity energy, expansion, morals, faith, these Jupiterian essences. But essentially you could wake up feeling sort of in a good mood. But I will say, as we continue on through the day, the Cancer moon will oppose Mercury and Mars. So again, this battle between how we feel and what's logical is playing out. And it's just important. Keep in mind, the temperature is raising, the moon is waxing, emotions are getting more and more pressurized. And so feel what is coming up, but it may be important to work that muscle around compartmentalizing around, I'm so going to cry about this later, or to your face, I'm going to nod at you, but later I'm going to be talking crap about you in a text to my best friend. Like sometimes you just got to compartmentalize around, this is not where my emotions should lead the way, time and place, okay? And you did it at my birthday dinner. Okay, I'm sorry. Sometimes just pop a random reference in there. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. It's okay. Life goes on. So with the energy of the Cancer moon opposing Mars, I will say you may be feeling a little bit more exhausted at the end of the day. You could just be really in the mood to go home. You're just like, gosh, I just want to go home. I just want to be cozy. I just want to eat takeout. I just want to avoid the world. I just want a fuzzy blanket and I just want to watch some trashy reality show. This world is a lot and I need to recover. Like I nodded at the people who were trying me earlier. I dealt with these crazy kids today. I dealt with these people at the grocery store today. Listen, full moon brings out some wacky energy. And it's not just astrologers who say that. EMTs, bartenders, full moons are when people start to react a little wacky. And with Tuesday, there might be an energy around, I have seen what I've needed to see and I need to check out from the world for now because wow, it's getting a little wacky out there. And with the Cancer moon squaring Chiron, again, there's Chiron energy within the cosmos. And this means people can be a little triggered and reactive. And if you're just dealing with people and people are being very defensive, just know that the collective wounding can be high right now. People can be a little bit more triggered just because of what it is that they're moving through. And it's not easy, especially if someone is making their own stuff your problem. But I would really say if someone's coming at you with some energy, understand that it might be a very wounded part of themselves that is reacting in that sort of way. Like if you're in an argument with your partner, like really taking that moment to like see that behind, you know, the bravado and the rage and the frustration, like oftentimes it could just be like a wounded little child behind all of that who wants to feel loved and feels abandoned by you. Sometimes we can humanize the person that we are in a discourse with or in a disagreement with when we acknowledge like, hey, this might be coming from part of your story, part of your wounds. And it doesn't always do us a tremendous service to try to like psychoanalyze other people to figure out why they are the way that they are, but just observe if someone's coming at you, whether it's someone within your life or just someone that you interact with within the general public with some intense energy. We simply don't know what people are moving through. My mentor always tells me when I'm really frustrated with someone to meditate and to visualize sending them puppies. Just see the person that you're like in a disagreement with, just see them playing with a bunch of puppies. And it is so hard to still be mad at them. Like it just helps humanize them. And you're also just sending good energy their way around, listen, I don't know what you're moving through to talk to me like that or to treat me like that, but here's some energetic puppies. Take that. Like it kind of is that energy around, you know, killing them with kindness in a sense. One of my favorite things to do is when someone's being very rude to me is to just be obnoxiously sweet because it makes them look really dumb. Like it's something powerful when you can be within the presence of somebody who's trying to be destructive or toxic and not sink down to their level. Again, Venus in Capricorn is this nudge from the cosmos around, you can meet me here. I'm not going down there. And whether that shows up within people trying to date you or people trying to fight with you, it's like, no, we can have a discussion when you meet me here. I'm not resorting to your power games or your manipulation strategies. You can meet me here or we're not having a discussion. And I'm going to send you energetic puppies. So on Wednesday, the 24th, I want to let you know that we are a day before the Leo full moon. Okay, so tensions are high. We're feeling things intensely. The happiest of happies, the saddest of sads, whatever is coming up. Some of us could just be feeling really tapped in with our love, with our care, with our compassion, with our joy. Like we could just be feeling things a little bit more intensely as we get nearer and nearer to this full moon. So important just as you navigate Wednesday to keep that top of mind. The Cancer moon will sextile Uranus and trine Neptune, which can be very inspired. Cancer is a very responsive energy. They respond to their environment, because when you're in different scenarios, different action steps would be appropriate. Like I always think about Cancer energy and how they're the crab. And crabs, you know, they move side to side, right? They're not necessarily linear, because the energy of Cancer, it's very responsive to the energetic and the emotional undercurrents around them. And they allow that to dictate what the best course of action would be, or what direction to go in. Around, should I go a little this way? Should I go a little this way? Like what should I do here based on the data that I am receiving? Because Cancer is governed by the moon. It's a reflection. Cancer energy feels into and reflects its environment, which is part of its power. I always describe the difference between Capricorn and Cancer around Capricorn is like building a building, right? It's very systematic. It's logical around the foundation, and then this, and then this. And keep in mind, Venus is in Capricorn, so it's reviewing the foundation of our relationships, what it's built upon, where it's going, right? The blueprint of sorts. Whereas Cancer energy is like nurturing a garden. It's not always systematic. You've got to adjust based on the sun and based on these leaves are drooping, so maybe they need to be a little bit more this way, or this needs more water, this needs fertilizer. You have to take in your environments and adjust accordingly. And so I do want to say that early in the day on Wednesday, you can be feeling and responding to things in your environment quite a bit, and more tapped in with the energetic frequencies of what's around you. And this can be an element of being very shrewd, okay? Like this is a cardinal sign. They take action, okay? And it's very shrewd and emotionally intelligent, because they're able to tap into people and adjust accordingly or respond accordingly. It can make them very, very persuasive. And so why I highlight that is simply with Cancer moon trine Neptune, you could be observing things within your environment or the people that you're around and really getting inspired on how to take action, or you could want to create something with what it is that you are witnessing. You could really be this reflector of your environment early on Wednesday morning, and that could show up within a business context around being able to feel into the people that you're at a meeting with, call upon the people who feel really fired up to be there and have things to share. Like you can use that in a leadership perspective. You can use that around, you know, nurturing your kids and just observing what it is that they need at that present moment, even if it differs from the plan of what you were going to do with them in the morning. It's about responding to your environment and finding the divinity when we flow with our environment and release how we thought it was going to be. And so the Cancer moon will trine Neptune in Pisces, which is that asks for responsivity and flowing with our environment around 3 p.m. So you'll feel that build. So we have the Cancer moon sextiling Uranus around 2 a.m., which is empowering novel solutions based on the energetic and emotional data that we're picking up. And then with the trine to Neptune, allowing ourselves to flow, let your intuition guide you. It can be such a magical GPS. Again, it could differ from how you thought the day was going to go, but it could present a really magical detour. And so after the Cancer moon trines Neptune at 2:58 p.m., the moon will be void. So keep in mind, important tasks we must avoid when the moon's void, although some astrologers debate on whether or not the moon can truly be void and a sign that it rules. But alas, the moon will not enter Leo, ultimately breaking the void until 11:37 p.m. and it is immediately greeted by Pluto, who is newly in Aquarius, as I highlighted. So there can be some intense emotions. Listen, when you let your heart lead or listen to the wisdom of your heart, sometimes there's intensity there. That's why there's such a theme this week around, you know, the passion that our love lives can elicit from us, right? And how we can use that as fuel, because the heart is a powerful thing, okay? People will move mountains to be with the person that they love. They will build buildings. They will construct songs. Like, to be in love or to have a crush on somebody or to desire somebody can be such a powerful form of desire. But also, even outside of romantic context, when we love someone, we would do anything for them. Like, if you think about the fierce love of, you know, mother and child, or the fierce love of you defending your friends, like when it comes to our heart space, there is nothing that we won't do. And that's why when it comes to the vibe check, you got so angry because yes, of those own insecurities that you were navigating, but because they came for the people that you love and you're their captain, you're their leader, and you couldn't bear them to say disparaging things about the people you care deeply. When it comes to matters of the heart, we oftentimes are a little bit more fierce about defending people that we love rather than ourselves a lot of times. So that evening, when it comes to Moon opposing Pluto, yes, there can be so much power that we unlock when we let our love and our heart space speak, but just ensure that you're remaining grounded, okay? Tensions are high with the full moon building. So on Thursday, January 25th, I firstly want to let you know that the Leo full moon lands at 9:58 a.m. PST, and it lands at 5 degrees Leo. And with this lunation, as I highlighted, it opposed Pluto, and our heart can be so powerful. The reason your team won that night was because of your heart, and that your guys' hearts were in it, right? You guys didn't have the nutritionalists and the trainers, and certainly I'm sure the other team cared, but you guys cared more because of what it meant and all of the sacrifices that went into it. And that can be so powerful to pull from our heart space to be like, I want this for me, but also for everybody else on my team. We're in Aquarius season, right? It's about our community. It's about our team. It's about who it is that we are doing this with and doing this for, right? And that can be so powerful. But I just want to let you know that other people can be very dramatic on Thursday, okay? People can be more dramatic. They can really allow pride to get in the way because this Leo full moon does square Jupiter. Tomorrow we have Sun squaring Jupiter, which just could create a little bit more exaggerated, dramatic responses. Listen, I don't know if you guys could tell by me explaining that football play or trying to explain what I was seeing within my mind. I am not particularly a very athletically inclined individual. My sister is incredibly athletically talented. She won MVP of 2 different sports in the same year. She won MVP of her soccer team and she won MVP of her softball team. She is incredibly gifted, and she's my older sister. So of course we went to the same high school. So when the coaches and when the teachers were like, oh, you're, my sister's sister, they would think I had these skills, and I simply did not have those skills. My skills when it came to sports is that I was very dramatic with it, in that somebody would touch me, they would brush by me, and when I say I would roll, I would flip, I would sigh, I would like scream my leg, no. Like it was just so theatrical and dramatic for no reason. That was when my parents realized, all right, I think she's a performer. I don't think she's an athlete, because the drama, someone brushed by you. I promise you're fine. It did not require 3 or 4 flips. But anyways, that's what I'm seeing for this Leo full moon. So you could be encountering people who are being quite dramatic or being quite exaggerated, right? And this energy of this game, right? And the competition energy that's coming out, it's like the energy of attraction in a certain way, where it can be something that's incredibly distracting, right? I'm just thinking about my crush all the time. I'm doing all these pick of cards. I can't focus because I'm thinking of this person. They're actually diverting me from my endeavors. Or it could be something that motivates you around, I am going to achieve this goal and they will see. Same with competition. It could be something where it gets in your head and starts to mess with you and you pay too much attention on what they're doing, what's their plays. Or it could be something that motivates you around, hey, pressure is on and I've got this. So it's just important with this full moon opposing Pluto. Yes, people might be a little dramatic, okay? You could be a little dramatic. You might be in your theatrics, like something might have happened and you need to like cry and sigh and huff and do a couple of flips. Listen, okay? I get it. I get it. All I ask is that you don't let the pressure get the better of you. You don't allow those emotions to make you, lash out, right? And do something that you regret. Like within the 5 check, you regretted acting in that way. You didn't get to be part of the team who finished that game, right? You guys won. It all ended up good. We have good aspects coming up later in the week, but you didn't get to be a part of it because you let your passion in that moment get the better of you and make you react in ways that you were not proud of. It is important to work that muscle of compartmentalization around, my heart is saying one thing, but I've got to balance it with my head. Like if you in any way think I'm coming across as, balanced and calm, that is a miracle, because I am so frustrated with these chainsaws. I cannot even tell you. But alas, I'm just putting that aside, my personal frustration at the situation, and I'm keeping my eye on the prize around delivering the best Magic Monday that I possibly can under these circumstances, right? And so around the time of that Leo full moon, we also have the exalted Mars in Capricorn, squaring off with Chiron. So Mars in Capricorn is showing up to want to be our best self and not backing down from a challenge, and inviting in this opportunity to raise the standard of what it is that we expect from ourselves. I'm not obsessed with this phrase, but for some reason, it's always what comes through when I tap into this energy, is this idea of new levels, new devils. Like within the vibe check, you guys are competing in championship. You guys have not gotten this far within the rankings to know what it feels like to play at this championship level. And it's like with every new caliber that you raise to, whether that is within your career, whether that is within your relationship, there will be new challenges and problems that meet you there. It's never about achieving your way out of the challenges. There will be new stuff, new distractions, new triggers awaiting you at every single level that you ascend to. And so with Mars in Capricorn, it's like, okay, we're at this new level of our life, right? We're playing within the championships, and with the square to Chiron, it's pinging at something much deeper. Like, yes, it's being brought out because you're at this championship game, but it's bringing you back to being, 4 years old when you first realized that you grew up on a side of town that's not particularly wealthy, right? And feeling that energy of scarcity, and that you are not good enough because of that, or that you will not succeed because of where it is that you come from. Again, that is just an example for the vibe check, but there can be this energy around with Mars square Chiron getting in your own head around, you can't possibly win this championship game. Remember where it is that you come from? You don't have nutritionalists. You don't have personal trainers. Like, you grew up on the wrong side of town. You grew up with a different socioeconomic status than these people, and you simply aren't going to be able to win championship games. You might as well give up now. You might as well turn the school bus around and not even play the championship game. You have to hear those voices or hear that energy of doubt and battle through. Like, that's the ask with Mars square Chiron, because those voices, that side of you, that imposter syndrome around you stepping into that boardroom and being like, no one's gonna like your idea. Like, you should just turn around. Or that energy around, you're never going to top your last book that you wrote. That was like a flash in the pan. You're never going to write a book like that again. Or whatever just kind of gets in your head, just with Mars and Mercury squaring Chiron, there can be an energy around letting that voice be louder, that voice of your insecurities and your wounds. And honestly, that imposter syndrome around, you don't deserve to be at this championship game. Or you don't deserve to be at this promotion. You don't deserve to start your own business. Keep in mind, we're in this space of Pluto now being in Aquarius, this deep call to transform and evolve. And with every new level, every new chapter of our life, there's new devils that meet us there, new challenges, or even new obstacles that might be new settings, new people, new scenario. But with the square to Chiron, it could be ringing at old insecurities. And the thing about that wounded part of ourselves is that it actually loves to be proven right. Like, when we're in a relationship with someone where we're just like, gosh, they're so out of my league. How could I possibly be on the same level as this person? When you don't hear from them, that wounded part of you can be like, see, I told you they were gonna get sick of you. Why would you possibly think you could date someone like that? And it like weirdly gloats at you around, see, because the ego likes to be right. Because the ego, the mind, the wounded part of you, whatever you want to think about it, it's important to understand it's not wired for us to live our most empowered, aligned life. It's wired to keep us safe. It can associate change equals bad equals death. Like, it literally, your mind is not here to make you happy. It is here to make sure you survive. So it is constantly scanning for threats. And because it remembers those times that you were hurt or you were wounded, it tries to convince you that that will be the result if you dare get in this new relationship, play this championship game. It's trying to keep you safe by reminding you, remember that one time we were ostracized? Remember that one time we didn't feel good enough? Remember that one time we learned that we come from a different socioeconomic status than other people? Remember? It's trying to keep that top of mind so that you keep that in mind and keep yourself safe within your little box, and that you don't get to the championship game, and that you don't go out and start your own business, and that you don't do all these things. The mind is not designed for you to be happy. It's designed to keep you alive. And so it keeps those old stories top of mind, those old pain tapes top of mind, so that you don't dare put yourself in an experience where you will get hurt. But a certainty about this life is that you will get hurt. Like within sports, you will fall, you will scab your knee, you will bruise, you will get hurt, and the heart will get hurt too. I remember one time, middle school love, I got broken up with on the phone, the man who broke up with me for God. If you know, you know, if you've been watching Magic Monday for a while. And I came out to my parents just wailing, sobbing, like, oh my God, I can't believe he ended it with me. And I just remember my mom, the Capricorn queen she was like, Haley, you're gonna feel this many more times in your life. She's like, you're gonna feel this many more times, because that's a certainty. It's like, in this experience, we will get hurt, we will feel disappointed, we will be let down, but that's not an excuse to keep ourselves from playing in the championship game. That's not an excuse to keep ourselves from trying to start this own business. Even if we have these memories of being ostracized and different and insecure and what have you, wounded part of you is not going to lead the way towards your most actualized life. So it's almost like feeling that wounded part of you, but still being fearless anyway. Feeling those insecurities coming to you as you roll up to this like glossy high school and see all the nice things that they have, and be reminded of just how much you've had to struggle when you realize that these people probably have never felt that within their world. It's about feeling all of that, but not allowing that to take center stage. With Mars and Capricorn, still allowing yourself to show up, put your game face on, eye on the prize, not allowing that wounded part of you to make you turn around and keep yourself safe. Living life the most safe way possible does not a happy life make. Like, I could have taken my mom telling me that when she said I'm gonna get my heart broken many more times. I could have just closed off my heart and been like, I'm never gonna love again. But life and its richness and its intensity, especially with this Leo full moon, is about sometimes getting hurt and feeling things intensely and feeling disappointed. And that's what makes those wins and those victories, whatever they may be within your universe, so sweet, because you know what it's like to hurt. So rather than letting that wounded part of yourself take center stage around, I don't know if we should play this championship game, it's not safe for you, you might get embarrassed, right? You might feel like less than because you don't come from the same circumstances as these people, rather than allowing that wounded part to take charge around, no, I don't know, you should just go get another typical job. I don't know if you're capable of starting your own business. Remember that C you got in algebra, what if you fall on your face? Rather than allowing that wounded part of you to call the shots and make the decisions and keep you safe from ever taking a risk, allow yourself to take a risk because of that part of you, right? To understand, I'm doing it for that person who is ostracized, who is hurt, who is disappointed. Like, that part of us just wants love and safety, and it's part of us that's frozen in time at the time of that disappointment or whatever made us feel unsafe or insecure or what have you. That wounded part of you deserves to be at that game, feeling that trophy in your hands, dumping Gatorade on the coach and being like, wow, we did it. The person who never knew if they were gonna have enough lunch money beat the football team of this glossy high school. We did it. That wounded part of me did it. When you start to succeed within your business, like thinking back to that C you got in algebra and thinking about how your teachers never thought that you would amount to anything and being like, see, we did it. We did it. You deserve that, and that wounded part of you deserves it too. But it's just important that you don't allow that wounded part to take center stage. Love it, appreciate it, but understand you gotta step into game mode with Mars in Capricorn. Eye on the prize, eye on the victory, whatever that may mean for you. And also with that energy of Mars square Chiron, this is why you got violent and reacted. Like, that wounded part of you was reacting around, how dare you come from where I have suffered, where I have insecurities, and allowing ourselves to lash out in the moment. Like with Chiron and Aries, we can observe that we are more defensive, we're more triggered. And with Mars square Chiron, our temper can get the better of us, or you could be observing other people's temper could be getting the better of them. And this energy asks for patience. If somebody is being a little intense with you, understanding, wow, they must be really hurting. Like, they must really be going through it. As well as if someone comes for you or you get very defensive about it, really being mindful before you lash out in the moment. Again, the best revenge is success. Keep your eye on the prize. So on Friday, January 26th, Mercury will square Chiron in the morning time. So with Mars squaring Chiron the day prior, that was kind of like the lashing out because that wounded part. With Mercury square Chiron, there could be certain conversations, whether it's happening externally or internally, that are essentially making us feel more triggered, okay? So there could be something that someone says to you that pings at something very deep within you. Like, we don't know if that footballer on the opposite team really meant to slice that insult as deep as you took it, right? We don't know where people's sore spots are. We don't know where it is they have particularly struggled. Like, that footballer could have said so many things to you and you wouldn't have got offended, but it's the thing that cut deeply because you've gone through it so deeply around that particular topic that it made you lash out, right? And there's just certain things within this experience that will cut to us on that level. Like, if you are a content creator, you know this firsthand, in that there are so many comments that people will leave you where it doesn't bother you at all. You're like, okay, I have a punchable face. Okay, my face looks like it was glued on from another person's face. I don't know what that comment was about, but I've gotten that before. Okay, I used too many hand gestures, whatever people say. Like, there's so many things people say about you, and there's so many things, particularly if you are a content creator or you work within something in which you receive a lot of feedback. There's so many things that you're like, yeah, okay, all right, okay. And then there's certain things that just like slice into you because it's just like, ooh, man, I have gone through it within that, and you are telling me something that I repeat to myself verbally all of the time, right? And that's where it cuts deeply because there's part of us that feels like that could be true, right? That's why it offends us so deeply. Or there's parts of us where that's been part of our story. And so it cuts us to a deeper level. And so with Mercury square Chiron, there could be something that someone says to you, even at work, around, oh, Haley, you're always such a mess. And they didn't mean anything by it, but maybe you have this complex around, I don't have my life together, I'm so chaotic, where when that person tells you that, you're like, well, you are a loser who doesn't drive. And it's like you took it too far. You got a little reactive, right? Because it triggered a wounded part of you. And if you are somebody who's a content creator, like, I would just definitely say, avoid commenting back to people. Troll energy is trying to get your attention. Your energy is your currency, okay? With Venus in Capricorn, we all just started valuing our energy more, okay? We're all like, you know what? You can meet me here. I'm not gonna meet you at your troll level and indulge you in a response, okay? You can meet me here. We're on high vibe. I'm not gonna meet you down there. Whenever I talk about this topic, I'm not saying people just need to be nice to me all of the time. I'm always open for constructive criticism. I'm just saying there is a lot of energy on social media where it's just a lot of troll energy, and it's just really intentional where you are investing your energy with Venus in Capricorn and not investing your energy in that kind of like low vibe or hater type energy. For some of us, we are the haters, okay, within our own mind. And Mercury square Chiron could absolutely be echoing that around, even though you're in this new scenario, you're at this new football team, you're at this new job, you're in this new relationship, there's an old pain tape playing around, you're gonna mess this up, you're not good enough. Like familiar stories that we have told ourselves around how we are not good enough or how we are not like other people. And that can get in our head. We can self-sabotage ourselves with that. With Mercury square Chiron, it's just observing your own self-speak, because with so much of the cosmos in Capricorn, we could be being very hard on ourselves, right? We could be really beating ourselves up around, gosh, like being on the bench, being like, gosh, I can't believe you let yourself get the better of you. I can't believe you dropped that pass, right? Like hurting yourself, not just in the time that incident happened, but also over and over as you continue to think about it and just beat yourself up. And it's not easy. It's not like a light switch where all of a sudden we could just turn off the intense thoughts. But with Mercury square Chiron, it is asking for you to have some compassion with yourself and really just understand you cannot hate yourself to the top. You cannot hate yourself towards success. You have to find a new tape to listen to. Your pain tape will not get you to where it is that you want to go. You have to be your own cheerleader. That's why within the vibe check, there is that energy around your coach being someone who pep talked you, right? Because oftentimes we need that. If it's not available around you via your mentors, via a coach, a teacher, a boss, something of that nature, sometimes you just need to step in yourself and be like, listen, we're unsubscribing to this narrative that you're not good enough and you're going to self-sabotage this relationship or this game or this opportunity, or that you're not going to put yourself out there because you don't want to get hurt. Enough. We're gonna listen to a new tape. The tape that's going to help us level up and succeed. And it just is taking that moment to really observe what your internal narrative is. And choosing, when possible, especially with the Leo moon trining Chiron in the morning time, choosing to cheerlead ourselves. Like really, even if something didn't go according to plan, even if we dropped the pass, even if we, got sat for the rest of the game because we threatened violence on the opposing team, there's this energy with Mercury square Chiron. Obviously, it was not up to our standards, okay? We let our emotions get the better of us. But with Mercury square Chiron, it's just understanding, hey, I'm a human being. I got caught up in the heat of the moment, and all I can do is do better next time. Your mistake at work does not make you a bad person. All you can do is do better next time. Repeating it over and over within your head is not doing you any good. Take the data, keep it moving, okay? And find how you can find a more empowering narrative by which you communicate to yourself with. And so later in the day on Friday, we do have the Aquarius Sun square Jupiter, where we can be a little bit more prone to excess, okay? And that could be showing up with an excess of ego, right? Because it's Sun, but it's also the Sun Aquarius, hence that energy around going to excess to defend your team, right? Or your community. There could be this energy around going above and beyond. This is not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of times with Sun square Jupiter, there could just be an energy around overindulging, right? Procrastinating, indulging in the nice things of life and going a little extra, okay? The full moon is waning now, but there's still that like kind of heat of drama and passion in the air. So you could be like a little bit more dramatic on the dance floor, drink a little bit more, eat a little bit more. There could just be this exuberant vibe within the air on Friday. But I would just say, just being mindful not to let your pride get the better of you, even if you are sticking up for a noble cause, which a lot of times Aquarius Sun is, right? Like that footballer had no right saying that to you and your team. And that evening as well, Uranus stations direct. So this is the final planet to station direct. Now we have all planets within the cosmos moving direct, giving us permission to really step into a new chapter within our life. And so there could be a restlessness baked into this week's astrology. Again, we have Pluto re-entered Aquarius, right? We have Uranus station direct. There could be energy around wanting to shake something up, wanting to change something within our life. There could be this impulsive energy with Uranus stationing, or almost this live wire energy. It's very electric when we talk about Uranus. And this is the energy around expect the unexpected. Nobody expected the underdogs to beat out the typical champions. Okay, no one expected that. But you always got to expect the unexpected. You got to stay on your toes. Surprise the people around you. Allow the people who have known you in the past, when they find out about what it is that you are creating, what it is that you are a part of, what it is that you are known for, the humans that you are raising, the art that you are creating, allow them to be shocked. Like, wow, I didn't know they had that within them. Like, what a delicious form of revenge that would be around stunting on everybody who doubted you or didn't expect that from you, right? Sometimes you have to deny yourself that initial gratification in the moment around wanting to, tell off a bully or someone who's doubting you. You have to deny it and just hold back and allow success to be your revenge. Allow yourself to shake up people's perceptions of you, okay? And for you to allow other people's perceptions of you to be shaken up, you have to allow yourself to see yourself in new ways, to unlock new parts of yourself. Who knew that you could be a championship winner? But you are, right? Do not limit yourself by maintaining and staying in spaces where you've always fit. Widen your self-concept. Widen what it is that you expect of yourself to a very mundane level with Uranus direct. People could be more rebellious. Like, this is not a great week to try to tell someone what to do. If you try to tell anyone what to do, they're going to want to do the opposite thing 20 times more, okay? And with Uranus stationing, there is this vibe around what it is that we are rebelling against. There's a real push around revolution or pushing towards innovative solution, breaking out of the box of what is expected of you you, and also what's expected from humanity. There could be a lot of talk this weekend just around like protesting or ways that we're wanting to push against the way that things are, right? There just could be this desire to want to shake things up in new ways. And a great way to do that is your dollar, okay? With Uranus and Taurus, be intentional about the products that you are investing in, about the brands that you are supporting. Best way to vote is with your dollar. Like the protests that are happening right now are creating real results. Like I know it doesn't feel like we have a lot of power as an individual, but listen, Pluto's in Aquarius. There's power in numbers, okay? And when we all band together to really allow ourselves to vote with our dollar and vote with our protesting, however it is that you're feeling called to show up, we can really create change. So Uranus stationing direct, it is asking you to think outside of the box around where it is that you're wanting to vote towards the future that you believe in. From a lunar perspective on Friday, the Leo moon will trine Chiron in the morning. So yes, with Mercury square Chiron, there can be something that's a little ouch. Okay, there's an email that comes in that kind of like hurts your feelings, or it's criticism that you're taking to heart. There's something your partner says to you that you're kind of like, ouch, is that how you feel? There's something that's making us a little sensitive, but with the Leo moon trining Chiron, we're really stepping into that role around being our own cheerleader, right? Giving ourselves a pep talk. And then definitely as we move towards the evening time, just with Uranus stationing direct and Leo moon square Uranus, you're in the mood to do something different. You could just be feeling distracted and buzzy. There just could be this energy where it's like hard to focus. Your energy might be pulling you in many different directions. You know, that sort of like nervous excitement. That's sort of what I'm feeling around maybe you have plans over the weekend, you're excited about it, but alas, it could just be hard to focus. And with the energy of Uranus, you could be really resisting anyone trying to tell you what to do, really wanting to do your own thing, be your own person. So after the moon squares Uranus around 1:19 p.m., it'll be void for the rest of the day. So I'm telling you, Friday, especially afternoon, is not going to be so productive. Like it could be kind of a gossip session if the full moon was really intense around, oh my gosh, did you see that patient who came in and did this? Or, oh my gosh, did you hear about the workplace drama here? There can just be kind of like a anxious, buzzy, or nervous energy, or even just a distracted energy within the workplace. So I have good and bad news about the forecast moving forward. The good news is you will not hear the chainsaw any longer. The bad news, that is because it is many hours into the future. I did have to run to dinner. So the bad news is that it is currently loopy girl hours. I don't think it's healthy for me to film this late because I'm too in my little thoughts and I need to go to bed pretty soon here. But I did want to finish out the forecast. So let's take it into Saturday, January 27th. So Mercury will align with Mars in the sign Capricorn. This energy feels like the dramatic halftime speech. You know, in every single TV show or movie about high school football teams and how they're losing within the first half, and then they have this pep talk in the locker room when the coach is like, you know what we put into this, you know what's in your heart, we're gonna win this game because of our hearts, and gets everybody pumped up to go and win. They were defeated within the first half, but then they come back after this amazing pep talk within the second half. Listen, that's the power of a pep talk, okay? Pep talks can go far. And with Mercury Mars, maybe there's an energy around a pep talk from a mentor figure. This is in Capricorn. I will say that is why I love connecting with my mentors, because they always give me real life pep talks, right? It's in Capricorn. And sometimes that means people who will give it to you straight, like the coach. The reason the advice and the pep talk is so inspiring is because he'll call out, hey, y'all are dropping the ball within the first half. You guys can do better. It's raising the standard of what your coach is expecting of you, which inspires you to reach that, right? It's not settling for the mediocre energy that you've presented within the first half around letting your temper get the better of you and letting the glossy high school intimidate you. It's this energy around, hey, I know that you could do better than this. This is the standard that I'm going to set rise up to meet me here. And that's what makes, coaches or mentors so inspiring. I think this energy really speaks to expanders, which are people who are on your frequency, but also inspire you to level up or even just embody something that you are hoping to integrate within your own journey. And so I'd love to know below, who are some of your expanders? Like people, maybe you follow them on social media, maybe it's people that you know within your social group, but people who just inspire you or motivate you or push you a little bit more to strive for more for yourself. And sometimes if we aren't in a space where those mentors are around us or those cheerleaders within our friendship group or those inspiring individuals who embody something that we want to call in for ourselves, if that does not exist within your surroundings, with Mercury Mars, it's also tapping into how you can create that within your own mind, that pep talk energy. And like we talked about last week, music can be such a powerful way to set the vibration for what it is that you're wanting to call in. So I'd love to know, what's your hype up song? If you had to go into the second half of championship game, what would be the song that you would play at the locker room in order to get yourself pumped up and ready to go? Or if you played baseball or softball, I always thought it was fun that they get like a walk-up song that they get to pick as they're walking up to the base. So let me know what yours would be. What song gets you pumped and ready? Maybe with Mercury Mars, it would be tapping into that frequency energetically via music in order to rise to it yourself, right? Paying attention to where we are sourcing inspiration and ensuring with this Mercury Mars squaring Chiron, ensuring that we are not, listening to that wounded part of ourselves around our past. With Mercury Mars, it's around who and what media and what stimuli and what voices are going to get me to the next level. I know where the wounded part of me has been. I know where it's going to take me if I let that part of myself run my life. I'm interested in tuning into that frequency or tuning into that radio station, so to speak, the positive self-talk, the music, the expanders within my universe who empower me to strive for and expect more from myself. And so, Uranus station direct very late on Friday. And so you can be feeling echoes of this on Saturday morning, this sudden desire that you want to change and disrupt your entire life. Suddenly that nothing is meeting your standards and you are ready to shake things up. You are ready to level up around what it is that you expect from yourself. That could absolutely be a vibration that you're feeling on Saturday around everything's wrong. My furniture is wrong. My friend group is wrong. My life is wrong. Everything's wrong. And listen, it's not that everything in your life is wrong. Sometimes Uranus energy can make us feel like that because it can make us feel very restless, right? And keep in mind, Mercury Mars, it's amplifying our mental space, and Capricorn can make us quite hard on ourselves. So we could be looking at everything like, I want to live in a better place and I want a better career, like looking at everything within our life and nitpicking around how we could be leveling up. And it's important to highlight that with Uranus energy, we could just feel restless and feel like we have outgrown everything within our life. You likely haven't outgrown everything within your life. Perhaps some of you have, with Pluto re-entering Aquarius and a new chapter is beginning. But with the energy of Uranus, there can be a strong call to do something different. If you keep doing what it is that you've been doing, you'll keep getting what it is that you've been getting. If you keep letting the wounded part of you or the ego or the mind take charge, you will keep getting what it is that you've been getting as you allow that self to take charge. With Mercury Mars, is there a new frequency? Is there a new voice to tap into? Are there new sacred mirrors that you're observing within your experience that inspire you to reach for more? Tune into that frequency, tune into that energetic radio station. And luckily the vibe does chill out as the moon will be in Virgo all day. So again, this could be an energy around wanting to get rid of stuff, like getting the ick with yourself around just the clothes. Like all of a sudden everything just feels wrong and you want everything to get out of your house, okay? And with Venus sextiling Saturn, that echoes some of the energy I was sharing earlier around looking to your clothes and to your makeup and just getting stuff out. There's nothing that will make you feel more abundant than going through your belongings and allowing yourself to release belongings that no longer serve with who it is that you are evolving into. You will find items that you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot I had this shirt. You'll get inspired about your wardrobe again. You'll get inspired inspired about your makeup again, when you go through and clean things out, it can allow you to feel very abundant when you go through the belongings and allow yourself to rediscover old when just getting out the clutter around what's no longer aligning and tuning into the colors or the products that are really calling out to you. I would also say with Venus sextile Saturn, it could be really optimal to contemplate investment strategies, money management, budgeting, anything that you want to do to continue to allow your money to work for you, so you don't always have to work for your money. Just contemplating things that you want to invest in, or ways you want to invest your money, or projects you want to invest your money in. Again, with the sextile to Saturn, who's also the ruler of Venus currently, there is a focus towards time-honored, more longevity business dealings. It's not instant gratification, okay? It's really thinking long-term and wanting to invest our money, certainly, but also our time and energy into what will continue to grow and prosper and bloom within our universe. So on Saturday, from a lunar perspective, the moon is void from 1 p.m.-ish on Friday all the way until 11:11 a.m. on Saturday. So that's a long void moon. So important tasks you must avoid. Remember, it's very Uranus coded. The closing aspect of that void moon was a square to Uranus. We have Uranus stationing direct. So there is this energy to shake up, to rebel, to revolutionize, whether it's our world or our society. There's a desire to shake things up, okay? And with the moon entering Virgo, there can be a call to start with the little things, right? Like, we cannot control the big picture of life, but you can control your makeup drawer. And get rid of the expired products, or go through your spices and get rid of the expired products. I'm telling you, when you clean things up, you're shaking up the energy and you find things and you begin to feel more abundant around the things that you already have. You don't feel like you have to go out and buy new things. Great day to wash your sheets, clean your makeup brushes, scrub your shower, do all of those little maintenance tasks that you've been putting off, because you deserve to put your makeup on with clean makeup brushes. You deserve to clean within a clean shower. That's been something that I've been challenging myself as it relates to my errands around. No, I deserve to live in a home with scrub floors, okay? I deserve to go to sleep tonight with clean pillowcases. Like, really just seeing it as an act of self-love. And with the Virgo moon trining Venus in Capricorn a little later on Saturday, it's that energy around raising the standards for what it is that you expect from yourself. And yes, it sucks sometimes having to make that decision around cleaning all day rather than going out and doing something fun. That's the energy of the Virgo moon opposite Saturn. But you deserve to inhabit a clean house. You deserve to be able to open your closet and get excited by the different fabrics and colors that you can play with, or the different timeless style that feels aligned with who it is that you are, without, the closet busting open at the seams. You deserve all of these experiences, and Saturday may be an optimal day to do that. On Sunday, January 28th, if Saturday was deep cleaning, Sunday is like the energy when you've finished cleaning and you light a candle and your takeout just arrived and you pour kombucha or whatever it is that you like to drink, and you just snuggle on the couch and your favorite show's about to come on. You just get to bask in the loveliness of the environment that you've just created. Do you know that feeling? As a Virgo moon myself, that's like one of my favorite feelings ever. And Sunday's vibe is giving that sort of energy. Now, if you have lots of fun plans this weekend beyond just deep cleaning, hey, that's my idea of a good time, but I know that's a little boring. I don't want you to feel like cleaning is the only way to spend your weekend. I'm just saying the energy of Virgo moon typically dials us into maintenance and health and the small details of our lives. But I will say on Sunday, it's really this day to bask within the beauty, the love, and the richness that exists within your world. Like I said, going through belongings can help you feel more abundant, because it's easy to be like, oh, I'm so bored with my clothes. I have nothing new. When you dig through, you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this shirt. Helps you view your clothes in a new way and get inspired around playing with the fabrics, or playing with trying something a different way, layering shirts, wearing skirts as dresses. Listen, on this channel, I've had to get so creative with my clothes so that I do not get bored, because I'm really not a fan of consumption. I really try not to buy a lot unless it meets my standards, which is kind of the energy with Venus and Capricorn trining Jupiter. It's kind of that energy around, rather than, buying 10 Shein shirts or skirts, that energy around investing your money within the brands that you love, whose business practices have an ethos that you love. And maybe it takes longer to save, but again, Venus and Capricorn is that delayed gratification energy. And when trine to Jupiter, something that you will wear all of the time, that you will truly get value out of, that will truly be an investment. This could be a great shopping day, but like I said, with Venus and Capricorn, keep your standards high. Maybe mind, the budget a little bit. Sometimes the trine to Jupiter can be a little bit excessive, but also just tapping into the beauty around you, right? Like enjoying the fruits of your labor. That's why this energy, especially with the Virgo moon all day, just feels like the energy when you've deep cleaned, you got rid of the clutter, you went through your clothes and you reorganized everything, where you're excited to get ready tomorrow because you found all these clothes that you forgot about, and you just get to bask within the beauty of the environment that you've created. Like Sunday's energy is very much giving that. This can also be an incredibly aligned day as it relates to love, dating, like with Venus and Capricorn, like really enjoying a nice restaurant with somebody, really talking about the future, getting excited about the future that you guys want to create, getting excited about trips that you want to go on if it's a serious, relationship or partner. And if you are single, with Venus and Capricorn trine Jupiter, would be a great day to really get clear on what it is that you are looking for in a partnership. Like really write out what it is that you're looking for, those standards that you are wanting someone to meet, and then review that list and review if you are upholding yourself to those same standards, if you are holding and maintaining that vibration, because that's how you will call that person in. If you can continue to look at that list and be like, no, I'm a match for that. I would be able to meet that person at that energy. I'm not asking for anything that I don't already embody or that I don't already have within my universe. Venus trine Jupiter is a very aligned time for that. And it's also just this aspect around just feeling rich and feeling abundant. And you might say, Haley, Comet, but I'm not rich, right? Inflation has made everything $1 million. With the Venus trine Jupiter, it's tapping into the richness that exists around you. Being able to have an afternoon to read in the park and just having that moment to just tell yourself, gosh, I'm so rich. Or laughing with your friend and just having that moment around, wow, I'm just so rich. Or even just the energy of being able to walk into a store and buy toothpaste and being able to bask in the energy around, wow, I'm so rich, right? Allowing yourself to really embody that word and feel those moments where you feel rich. I've shared about this before, but there are so many events that I have worked. It's actually quite fascinating being an astrologer, a tarot reader. I know a lot of you read tarot, and being at these events where you meet with people and you have these very deep conversations, but it's like little blips of connecting with them. And something that has always been a takeaway when I do these readings is just this energy around, there are people who have so much money, who are incredibly wealthy and have never felt rich. Like have never felt that moment around just feeling in that moment they have everything that they need. Feeling in that moment just that it is safe to luxuriate within those experiences. There can just be this eternal energy around more and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So even if you are not where it is that you want to be financially, taking those moments to tap into that vibration around, gosh, I'm so rich, and just indulging in those moments of beauty, of sweetness. This would be a great day to eat delicious foods, go to the spa, have high quality experiences, and allow yourself to just feel and bask in, gosh, I'm so rich. Even if that means making a little face mask at home and having a spa day yourself, gosh, I am so rich. Tapping into those luxurious little moments as they are showing up makes the ascent, as we continue to up-level our standards, more sustainable, right? Having those moments where you are basking in the fruits of your labor. This also could be a really aligned day to get your hair cut, to get a facial, to, buy some new makeup, if you want to, invest in looking your best, anything of that nature with Venus trine Jupiter. But overall, whether it's in nature, whether it's at a museum, observe the beauty that exists around you, bask in the fruits of your efforts, give yourself some time to enjoy your life. Certainly with the energy of Virgo moon, you may feel like you deserve to enjoy your life after you get enough tasks done and errands done and maintenance done. But again, with Venus trine Jupiter, remember to take space to just enjoy all of the sensual pleasures of being a human being with all of this earthy energy. So the Venus trine Jupiter happens in the evening time around 5:02 p.m., making it such an ideal date night, okay? Schedule a date night, make it somewhere nice, talk about your future, what you're excited to create. We also have on Sunday, Mercury trine Uranus. So there could be new ideas that are stirring within, and since Mercury is moving into new territory, you have clearance around new visions, new ideas, new creations. Observe what you are feeling inspired towards. And with Mercury trine Uranus, do something new, get into some new stimuli, get lost in the woods, not too lost, take a compass, go to a museum, do something to generate some new thoughts. If you're just kind of like sick of yourself and sick of your thoughts and sick of your ideas, and with Uranus stationing, craving change, but not exactly being sure of what you are craving, this might be a really aligned time to get quiet, right? To be a beautiful environment, perhaps a peaceful environment, and really come within around where is this restlessness coming from? What is it I'm desiring? What new creations am I wanting to birth through? What new ideas am I wanting to talk through? Sunday can be an aligned day for that. And really the only lunar aspect is that the Virgo moon trines Jupiter at 1:10 a.m. So again, this is giving a hardworking energy to the weekend, yes, where you might be working on certain tasks, you might be beautifying your home, you might be working on your wardrobe, right? Up-leveling your style in the ways that feel aligned for you. You absolutely could be moving a lot of energy, doing a lot of stuff, but you're taking time to enjoy it, and you're enjoying the process, and you're bringing forth this energy to these maintenance tasks and to cleaning and to going through belongings around, I deserve this. I deserve to live a life that feels good. I deserve to have a wardrobe that reflects the value that I carry myself in. I deserve a partner who meets all these qualifications. I deserve to order in some delicious Indian food after I've deep cleaned my home all day. Whatever it may be, tapping into the richness within your experience. And so my loves, that is our week. The Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I keep my eye on the prize. Like we've been talking about within this week's vibe check, there can be different parts of ourselves that can take control and kind of steer the ship. There could be the wounded part of ourselves, right? With the Chiron aspects, the part of us who doesn't want us to take a risk, take a chance for fear of getting hurt again. There can be the prideful part of ourselves, which wants to go above and beyond in order to protect our team, right? In order to defend our honor. There can be a desire to react from the more instant gratification part of ourselves. But with so much of the cosmos in Capricorn, it's this energy around wait for the real thing. Keep your eye on the real prize at the end, because it's not the gratification if you do yell at that individual who is talking to you and your team crazy. That's not the real prize. The real prize isn't turning around before even getting on the championship game. The real prize isn't lashing out at your bully now. It's allowing success to do all the talking for you, okay? It's allowing yourself to let people have their little comments, let them doubt you, let them underestimate you. They'll see. They'll see who has the golden trophy. And in order to do that, you have to be enormously disciplined around maintaining your vision towards the prize, whatever that may be within your universe, around dating, right? Maintaining what you want within a relationship, not letting people derail you around, what if you just settle your standards a little bit for me? It's like, no, you can meet me here, or I'm not interested. That's not the prize for me then. Or even just maintaining your focus around your career endeavors, still showing up even when there's parts of your own mind that are telling you you're going to fail, you're going to mess it all up. It's simply not allowing that voice to be the dominant one, maintaining focus on the prize, whatever that is for you, whatever your vision of success is. What is your prize? What would be that trophy, right? And allowing that to be your focus. It'll take restraint around, I want to give this person a piece of my mind, or I want to settle for less, even though this isn't exactly what it is that I want. I want to run away and go back into my comfort zone because this makes me so uncomfortable to put myself out there in this sort of way. Those are not the prize. Keep focus on the prize, okay? Because this week's astrology, it's game on. So my loves, if you made it to the end of the video, comment below a football or use the word football within a sentence to let me know that you made it until the end. Thank you so much for spending the last hour or so with me. And I want to give a warm thank you to Better Not Younger for sponsoring this week's Magic Monday. You can get the Wake Up Call bundle as featured in this week's Magic Monday for 10% off using code Haley10. My Instagram handle is at Haley Comet Astrology. My TikTok is the same. I would love to connect with you over there. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.